Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating paradox right at the heart of software development. You've got this incredible AI-fueled speed on one side, and on the other, this deep, nagging doubt. This is a story about what it really means to be a programmer right now.
So let's just jump right in. Why on earth don't programmers trust the very tools that have, in some cases, literally doubled their speed? We're seeing developers get work done astonishingly fast, but there's a serious problem bubbling just under the surface.
And wow, this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got this huge productivity boost. We're talking studies showing AI can make developers over 55% faster. That's a massive leap. But then, look at the bar on the right, trust. It's tiny. Only a third of developers actually trust what the AI is telling them. So how can a tool be so powerful, yet so deeply distrusted?
To really get to the bottom of this, looking at the technology itself, well, it's not enough. The answer isn't really in the AI, it's in the journey of the programmer. It's about how their skills, their whole mindset, and even their relationship with information has been completely rewired over the past few decades.
So let's take a little journey back in time. We're going to visit three totally distinct eras, three stations that have shaped three different generations of programmers, each with a fundamentally different core skill. Okay, so our timeline starts way back, before the year 2000, in an era totally dominated by physical books. Then we'll jump into the age of Google and Stack Overflow. And finally, we land right here, in our current, kind of chaotic and incredibly fast-paced age of AI. All right, here we are, Station 1. Before the internet was in every single home and office, knowledge wasn't just a click away. It was physical, it was heavy, and getting an answer was a slow, deliberate process. You really had to work for it. Just try to imagine this for a second. Your code is broken. Your only lifeline is to manually flip through the index of a nearly 1,000-page book, just hoping to find that one specific paragraph that holds the key. The sheer friction in that process is almost unimaginable today.
But here's the thing. That slow, kind of painful search had this incredible side effect. It forced developers to build what we call a mental model, a complete internal map of the entire system. You had to understand why something was broken just to have a chance of fixing it. The key skill wasn't speed. It was pure, unadulterated patience.
And then, bam, the game completely changed. With search engines, the problem wasn't a lack of information anymore. Oh no, the new challenge was sifting through an absolute avalanche of it. The skill shifted from memorization to mastering the art of the perfect search query.
And right at the heart of this era was Stack Overflow. It became a billion-dollar company just by organizing the collective knowledge of millions of developers. But in this perfect, ironic twist, the very data that made it so valuable was then used to train the AI that would basically make it obsolete.
So in this new world, the feedback loop just collapsed from days down to minutes. You could find a solution fast, but the essential skill became discernment. You know, which of these 20 different answers is the right one for me? Is it out of date? It was all about filtering. And all of this brings us to right now. The launch of ChatGPT wasn't just another new tool. It was a seismic event, an earthquake that completely redrew the landscape of what it even means to be a developer. And the impact? It wasn't just a hunch. It was immediate, and you could measure it. A study from GitHub found that developers using AI tools finished their tasks 55.8% faster. We are not talking about a small improvement here. This is a revolutionary leap in speed. So it's no surprise that adoption has been absolutely massive. Today, almost half of all the code being written out there is assisted by AI. It went from being a novelty to a core part of the workflow in just a couple of years. But this is where our story comes full circle. As developers get more and more dependent on these tools for that raw speed, a deep sense of doubt starts to creep back in, bringing us right back to our paradox. Okay, just look at these numbers. They are stark. The biggest slice of this chart, a whopping 46% of developers, explicitly say they do not trust the accuracy of AI tools. Compare that to only 33% who do. The majority of people using these tools are deeply skeptical. And here it is, the heart of the frustration. 2/3 of developers say the biggest issue is what you could call subtle incorrectness. It's when the AI generates code that looks perfect, it seems plausible, but it's hiding these sneaky, hard-to-find bugs that can take more time to fix than writing it yourself. And this gap between the hype and the reality, it's even backed up by research. That incredible 55% speed boost was found in a controlled lab study. But when MIT researchers looked at real-world usage at big companies, the productivity gain was, well, a lot more modest, somewhere between 7 and 22%. Because, reality is messy. So, what is really going on here? The fundamental change isn't the tool itself, but the radical compression of the feedback loop. That's the time between asking a question and getting an answer. It has gone from days to minutes to now literally seconds. And that incredible speed? Well, it comes at a cost. Unlike the slow process of the past, getting an answer instantly means you might solve the problem without ever building that deep internal understanding, that mental model. This is why experienced developers are often the most skeptical. They have the mental model needed to spot when the AI is confidently wrong. So let's just lay it all out on the table. You can see how each generation developed a totally unique core skill. The book generation, their primary skill was patience, and they verified things through slow experimentation. The Google generation's skill was filtering, verified by community votes. And today, the AI generation's success all hinges on critical analysis, where you alone are the final judge. This means the programmer who's going to thrive in this new era isn't just the one who's best at using AI, it's the one who is best at evaluating what the AI produces. And that skill, it doesn't come from a tool, it comes from that hard-won understanding built over time. So what does adapting intelligently actually look like? Well, it's not about abandoning your old skills. It's about consciously preserving them. You've got to keep practicing the fundamentals to maintain that mental model. Use AI to challenge you with new problems, not just to get easy answers. That deep expertise, that's the one thing the machine can't replicate, and it's your ultimate advantage. In the end, every technological leap is a trade-off. Books gave us depth, but demanded our time. Google gave us answers, but maybe eroded our memory. And so we're left with the defining question of our time. AI gives us this incredible speed, but is it quietly taking away the very foundation of deep problem solving that we'll need to build the future?